needs and want. Here, piggy.
The film opens in the windy fields of Oregon, where Deputy Officer Ren Accord is seen with a red balloon staring into the abyss. The captain from the police station tries to contact him on the radio, but he doesn't acknowledge it, as he's lost in thought. When he comes back to his senses and takes the call, the captain tells him to look into a place they've received a report from. Ren tells him to appoint someone else because he's going to his son's baseball game. When he hits the road, the sheriff still gives him the address, in case he changes his mind. Ren becomes distracted by a stranger walking by the roadside. When he gets out of the car out of concern, the girl turns around. She's smeared with blood and is holding a piece of cloth as if she's carrying a baby. Ren immediately recognizes her as Alma from town and runs to put his jacket over her because she's shivering in the cold weather. The scenes cut straight to the station, where Ren has Alma in the examination room because he suspects that she was assaulted. She clarifies that nothing happened to her. It was her dog that got killed. She continues to tell Ren about how she took her pet dog swimming and how they were surrounded by a flock of goats led by a wolf. They attacked the dog and killed it. Alma breaks into tears and begs Ren to kill the wolf for the sake of their old school days. Ren is agitated because her shenanigans are keeping him from visiting his son. He drives away from there and stops outside the stadium. As he quietly adds some alcohol to his drink, he sees a boy behind his car. Startled, he takes a second look, but the boy has vanished already. Simultaneously, Deputy Officer Murph knocks on his window. He's dispatched here because of a situation. Suddenly, a grown woman recognizes Ren in the parking lot and starts to have a beef with him. When Murph asks for an explanation, Ren tells him that they spread rumors about one another in high school. Now Ren and Murph both go under the bleachers to scare away some kids who are having a beer and causing a ruckus. The two stay under the bleachers and watch the game from there. He becomes proud of his son Jack, who's a great pitcher. Jack's team wins the game, so Ren shows up in the stadium with a red balloon. He congratulates him and gives him a warm hug. His ex-wife arrives with her new partner to pick Jack up. Ren quickly catches up with Jack and watches him leave with his mother. As he watches them go, he has a quick flash of Jack's birthday, which makes him feel lonely. When Ren drives away from there, night falls all of a sudden. A goat stands in his way, so he stops the car and steps out to take a look. The goat disappears in front of his eyes, so he takes his torch and starts looking for it in the field by the roadside. There, he spots Alma's dog's collar with some rotten flesh. Suddenly, a white wolf appears in front of him. He doesn't intend to harm the wildlife, so he opens fire in the air and scares the wolf away. His worst nightmare begins when a human in a wolf's disguise spawns out of nowhere and begins quoting the Bible. He also refers to Ren as a weasel next to him, a wolf. The wolf runs towards Ren, so he opens fire at him. The bullets have no effect on him, which makes Ren scream like a girl. He runs back to his car where he gets a call from Jack. When Jack shows concern after hearing his voice, he becomes paranoid and compares him with his mother in an insulting manner. The next day, Ren's captain hugs him and offers him a promotion, which Ren's skeptical about. Sometime later, Alma arrives at the station with a flower bouquet to thank Ren for giving her a ride yesterday. She's received at the reception by Pam. Ren greets her with a shocked look and tells her about the encounter he had with the man-like wolf. Alma invites him to dinner to discuss this further, but he claims he's a married man. Pam and Alma both break it to him that his wife is sleeping with the principal and has moved on already. Hence, Ren agrees to see Alma. At home, Ren keeps getting flashes of the wolf, which makes him sick. Jack shows up at his place, so he bids him farewell and heads out to see Alma. Alma welcomes him with a warm hug and serves him dinner right away. Since the two were well acquainted in the past, they get along well in the present and end up making out. The same night, Jack heads out to walk his dog but gets jumped by the man-like wolf. When Ren wakes up at Alma's house the next day, he's called to the police station. There, he comes across his ex-wife, who has reported Jack missing. When the captain and Murph update him about discovering Jack's dead dog and its collar on Route 22, Ren becomes perplexed because he had seen it before Jack's disappearance. He tells everyone about his encounter, but no one takes it seriously. The police constables bring in a drunken man who vomits all over the floor. Simultaneously, Ren and Murph drive away and look for Jack. On their way, The same goat from last night appears in front of their car. Suddenly, another goat appears from behind and tries to break the car's rear window. The goats run into the woods, so Ren and Murph follow them. Soon, the night falls and their flashlights run out of juice. Ren starts to hallucinate the wolf, so he decides to light a fire and camp there for the night. Murph is the first one to sleep. The drunken Ashley spawns out of nowhere and picks a fight with Ren, during which Ren is knocked out. When Ren wakes up, he finds himself on a boat that's floating in the river. On the shore, he witnesses a demonic ritual conducted by the freaky goats and the wolf, who have transformed into humans. Alma appears on the boat out of nowhere and tells Ren that Jack has been taken by someone. She suddenly takes the wolf's place in the ritual and gets burned alive. In a vulnerable state, Ren cries and asks the wolf about Jack's whereabouts. The wolf points at Jack, who's now dead and floating in the river. It turns out to be a nightmare, from which Ren wakes up and brings reinforcements to search the river. Sadly, there are no traces of Jack. His mental health takes a toll, making him look like a crazy person. He returns home, where someone has put a meatloaf in the oven. He suspects an intruder, but it's only Alma. She confesses that she was cooking the loaf for him. Ren shares his frustrations about nobody believing him in the station. Alma holds his hands and lets him know that she believes in everything Ren's encountered so far. In such an emotional phase, he makes out with Alma once again and expresses how he's feeling after Jack's disappearance. After a long chat, he receives a call from Alma, which leaves him baffled. When he faces Alma in the room, the demonic entity takes its true form and calls him a greedy pig. The demonic entity chases Ren around the house while he constantly questions it about Jack. He eventually runs to Alma's house, but she doesn't answer the door. His high school enemy appears behind him and starts taunting him again. Since he's not in his right mind, he shoots that woman. When Ren heads to the police station, he's updated about Ashley's murder. He was found dead in the woods, where they found traces of Jack's blood. They suspect Ren of it and try to interrogate him. Suddenly, Pam arrives, who's also vomiting and acting strange like the others. Ren momentarily heads to the bathroom to clean the barf off his uniform, during which he feels lightheaded and sick. When he comes out, his colleagues try to arrest him for murdering Ashley and Jack because they've discovered the assault weapon near Ashley's corpse with Ren's prints on it. He completely breaks down while telling the cops that he's being framed by the wolf, but the cops act strange. One of them vomits and acts odd. Pam also arrives, now warning Ren that the wolf is coming. Simultaneously, her body goes through a disgusting transformation. Her back explodes, and a goat comes out of it. She charges at everyone, so Ren protects the captain. Now finally believing in Ren, he sends Ren to hunt down the wolf. Ren finds the flock of goats and the creepy wolf. When the wolf senses the desperation in him regarding his son Jack, the wolf jogs his memory. He gets a flashback, in which the truth comes to light. Jack is not attacked by the wolf, but is approached by Ren, who is adamant about swimming in the freezing river. He takes Jack with him and asks him to play a game with him. He calls himself the wolf and labels Jack as the weasel. He tells Jack that he's going to shoot some questions at him, and if he lies, he's going to hold his breath underwater. His first question is about whether or not Jack likes baseball. He asks this question because he was informed by Jack's teacher that he isn't interested in baseball because he wants to pursue music. Out of sheer fear, Jack lies and says that he likes baseball. Ren knows it's a lie, so he starts drowning him. He suddenly gets a flashback of Jack celebrating his birthday with his mother and her new partner instead of Ren. This memory always makes him feel like he's being left out, so he becomes aggressive and uses force to keep Jack's head underwater. Ashley spots him doing that to his son and raises concerns. Ren figures he's witnessed everything, so he drinks alcohol from Ashley's metal container and chases him into the woods. Eventually, he gets his hands on him and brutally takes his life using the container he drank alcohol from. He looks at his hand, which has started to grow long, white hair, resembling the wolf. Ren wakes up and finds himself on his bed. He heads to the kitchen, where he touches his neck and finds traces of blood again. In another room, he finds Jack's corpse shedding tears of blood and holding the red balloon Ren had given him after the game. Screaming and crying, he runs out of the house where the cops are ready to arrest him. The entire plot shifts when we see Alma as the main cop investigating Ren's case. A flash from the film's beginning also reveals that Alma was interrogating Ren and not the other way around. Ren sees the wolf again, asking him to save himself. He grabs Murph's gun, during which he has a final flashback in which Alma asks him to fix his mistakes instead of repeating them. In the present, Alma shoots Ren because he went for Murph's gun. The film ends with Ren holding a red balloon in the fields, which is how the film started. The ending suggests that Ren himself was the wolf indeed. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesome recaps.